Welcome to today's mentoring session. And before I start the mentoring session, first we'll dwell into the weekly sectoral analysis, where I'll start to analyze the medium-term charts, especially the weekly chart, the daily and the monthly charts if required. And weekly sectoral analysis are done generally for medium, unlike Nifty short-term view. That video series which I share on YouTube is mainly for the short term, maybe 1 or 2 days, but this is more for medium term. All right. So let's start with Nifty Futures first. And in front of a screen, we do have the daily and the weekly charts of Nifty Futures current month. On the left-hand side, we have the weekly time frame, and on the right-hand side, we have the daily chart. First thing I would like to share with you is the monthly time frame. Why this bounce back is happening in last 3 to 4 days. What is the first reason for that? If you remember, somewhere over here in last 4-5 days, in one of the Nifty short-term view videos, I had mentioned about a long-term support. And this long-term support is nothing but in the monthly time frame, it is the 23.6% Fibonacci retracement. Now, generally speaking, 23.6% Fibonacci retracement is not a very big support. But when the trend is very, very big, if you compare this trend in comparison to all these small swings, this is huge, enormous. So it is very, very common that this particular level, which is 16,000, it is going to be act as a very strong support. Plus one more thing, I think all over the internet, if you are active on Twitter or in any social media groups, many people have these two trend lines drawn in front of their charts, and you will be seeing that everyone is aiming for 15,000. So when everyone is going to aim for 15,000, probability is that there will be some difficulty before this is tested. All right. So I think these are the two predominant reasons due to which the bounce back is coming. And if you check the weekly time frame chart, the trend is certainly down. Prices are trading below the both of the moving averages. And one of the qualities of longer term supports and resistances is one thing, that they are so powerful that prices will keep closing below and above them multiple times. Now, this is a weekly chart. Okay. It will keep closing up and down, and every time we'll see now it is closed below that, prices can go down, and immediately next time it will come up. But what happens is generally it keeps acting like a magnet, and prices will keep, just trading around over here. And then whenever the volatility shrinks, whenever the volatility comes down, then the original trend, which is on the downside, it can resume. That's how generally markets react. In the daily chart, in the short term, we can see that we do have a positive divergence. And we can see we do have a lower low over here in price, and we do have a higher low in RSI. So this is a direct PD, which is called the positive divergence. And if you see the candle, now this particular candle has no name. If I combine this particular big green candle and this particular big red candle, the combination of these two candles has no name in particular, but I have seen many times in last 10 to 12 years of my trading career that whenever these type of patterns are built, the first time ever I came across this pattern was in 2010. So whenever this sort of pattern comes, immediate bounce back is very, very shrewd. So in case if anyone is holding short, and if they do not respect the market, they will be literally slaughtered. I'm using this word slaughtered. The reason is such bounce back, if they continue, we don't have any idea will it continue or not, because we can see this particular level 16,300, which I mentioned in my second last video, that this will be acting as a resistance. So if we sustain above this, probably Nifty future may test anywhere between, you can see this particular horizontal resistance, which is between 16,500 to 16,643, and in round figures 16,650. So generally the bounce backs which appear after such candle patterns are very, very shrewd, and they are very, very fast. In fact, super fast. So you have to be careful about that. And one more thing, considering the overall volatility, we can see a volatility, volatility was even there over here and over here. But what we could see over a period of time, the series of price was coming down. But in this zone, we can see prices are bouncing up and down. So this is a very good time if someone loves to lose money. All right. I'm using someone loves to lose money, which certainly no one does. So the idea over here is refrain, means avoid taking positions overnight until and unless this volatility cools down. And if you're taking positions overnight, swing trading positions, I'm not talking about positional trades. If you're taking swing positions overnight, kindly hedge them, or else if you don't know how to hedge, if it seems very, very cumbersome, then you can also reduce your position sizing, bring it down to 50% or maybe even less, and try to trade as less as possible till the time this volatility comes down and cools off a little bit. All right. Now let's head towards Bank Nifty. Bank Nifty, on the other hand, is a slightly different chart because we do not have any sort of positive divergence in Bank Nifty Futures. In the monthly time frame charts, I think this bounce back is coming. The reason for that, in fact, I don't even need to put this Fibonacci. If you can just check this particular crosshair, I think it is taking support from this previous high. And in this candle till now, in the month of May, the candle has not even tested this particular level, which it did a couple of months back, but it is sensing some sort of support over here. But overall I think in the long-term chart, what is happening is Bank Nifty means the banking index is just consolidating and nothing else. In the weekly chart, trend is down. I think there is a big green candle, that's fine, but this one big green candle, as of now, it changes nothing at all. In fact, today's move also was a surprise for me, and this is just a pullback. And we can see that this particular trend line is a very strong resistance, considering that this trend line is holding on since pretty long, at least 2 years. So there has already been a test of this trend line, I think a couple of days back. If this pullback continues, again, we will be testing this zone. So this zone somewhere over here around 34,600, 34,700. This zone is a resistance zone. And if we try to penetrate this zone, the second zone of resistance will be this particular gap. So I think Bank Nifty Futures has a lot of resistance coming up at higher levels. And I think we need to wait patiently and watch what happens rather than coming up to predictions that what could happen in the future, right? Now, I think more or less the private banking index is looking very, very similar to the Bank Nifty charts. See, this is the Bank Nifty chart and this is the private bank. More or less, I think it is the same. Even if you check all the stocks, HDFC Bank is obviously trying to bounce from its long-term supports. I had already shared this earlier. It's trying to bounce from its long-term support. This is the previous high, which is fine. And Axis Bank, even it's trying to pull back. Each and every private bank, if you see, this is IndusInd Bank, ICICI Bank is trying to give a pullback. Kotak Bank, I think it's the only one bank which is trying to fight the bears, and it's not letting the price come down. So in case if any day, if this price movement continues a similar way, and if the Bank Nifty future bottoms out and it starts a new uptrend, whenever it will, I think one should not keep their eyes off Kotak Bank. One should have very close watch on Kotak Bank. Because I always say that stocks which do not fall, stocks which refrain from falling, those are the stocks which are generally the outperformers. And what people do is actually they try to buy stocks which are available cheap. I always believe, always buy the stocks which are costlier rather than cheaper. Now, PSU banks, I think anyone can tell that the PSU banks have tested a intermediate medium-term support and they're trying to bounce back. We do have a candle over here which is trying to look like a hammer, but it is not. And we do have a big green candle. So I think just a small short-term pullback has started. I think we need to wait and watch what does happen further. If the pullback continues successfully, if it wants to, then the first level to be surpassed is this previous high. 2540, 2550, if this level is taken off and if it continues, then we'll be able to see higher levels coming up in this ongoing pullback. Metal pack. Metal pack, if we check why this bounce back has come, obviously the entire market is bouncing back, but if you just check the metal pack, there are three reasons. Number one reason is we do have a support band over here in the weekly time frame chart, which is the medium term chart. If you check the daily chart, we do have a trend line breakdown over here. Many times after a trend line breakdown, what happens is prices try to bounce back. They try to retest as it happened in Bank Nifty Futures. In Bank Nifty Futures, if you saw, there was a breakdown, there was a big recovery in 2 days, there was a retest of the trend line, and again there was a sell-off. So generally it does happen in a trend line breakdown. And one more thing is in the daily chart, the price is extending this particular move on the downside, and the prices have also bounced back from 161.8% Fibonacci extension. So probably prices might find some sort of resistance coming ahead in this zone. And then I think we need to wait and watch what happens. So in case if Nifty, Bank Nifty, all important indices, if the pullback continues and after the pullback, if the price starts to move down and we start finding swing trades in our trading strategy, then maybe metal pack is one where we should also keep watch on. Auto pack. Auto pack is one sector which is looking a little bit better placed in comparison than others. It is suddenly started a new uptrend. Whether it will sustain or not, obviously that's the next question that as of now it's very difficult to answer. In the long-term charts also, it is much better placed than other sectors, and generally auto pack improving is a sign that economy is improving, which I have no idea as of now because all the figures which are coming are not so encouraging. But we need to keep an eye on this particular sector, especially if we do have this trend line breakout. If there is a trend line breakout over here, I think many auto stocks will start trending higher. I think the laggard from this entire pack is Tata Motors. So avoiding Tata Motors, if you check Bajaj Auto, Hero Moto is one which is again outperforming. Maruti is pretty much sideways. So as of now, I can see just one outperformer, which is Hero Moto. Ashok Leyland, if you check, it's trying to outperform, but the candles over here are not very, very encouraging. So we'll have to wait and watch and see what happens over here. All right, the finance pack. Finance pack is, I think, just trying to pull back because it was oversold. Almost all sectors were oversold because if you see the RSI, forget about auto pack. You see metal pack, RSI had gone below 30. Then this is the PSU Bank, RSI had gone below 30. Almost all the sectors, I think, had the RSI had gone below 30. And in finance pack it's no different. But there is one trend line support which I found out on finance sector is this one. It is in the weekly time frame charts and it has been tested once, twice over here at this place and this place. I think the prices have not tested the trend line support, but I can say that price is able to sense that yes, some sort of support is there. And many times I've seen in my career the trend line doesn't test the price doesn't test the trend line, but before even testing, it starts going higher. Maybe that's what's happening over here or not. That's what time will tell us when prices will go higher in the daily chart. All right. IT pack. Now, IT pack has been one pack which has been, eluding, and it has been consistently giving us signals that it wants to give a pullback in mean reverting setups, in contrarian setups, but consistently I think it is going lower and lower and lower. And on this day also, you can see suddenly it's like just one big weight has been put up. If you see the entire way this chart has been going, smooth breakdown, pullback, fall, pullback, fall, big pullback, and again down. So generally when there is a very big crack, not all the time, but many times it is generally a bottom out. Now we don't know what's happening over here, so we don't want to predict, but if one checks properly, we certainly have a positive divergence. Now, is it a bottom? I seriously don't know. Neither I want to know, because even if this pullbacks, I'm not going to buy. All of you know that I don't buy pullbacks. I am not a contrarian trader. I am a pure swing trader or a positional trader. All right. One more thing, apart from the RSI positive divergence, we do have a insider candle. So the first sign that price in IT packs really wants to go higher will be the trading of the price above today's day high, and close above that would be even better. And then I think time will tell what's trying to happen. But I'm just indicating that a probable pullback can happen. I'm not a person who trades pullback or contrarian buys. Even in the weekly chart, if you can see, there is a sort of high wave candle, not exactly, but it is looking like one. And in fact, the RSI in the weekly chart has gone almost near 30. Now that's a lot, I think. Previously, I think RSI went below 30 was probably in March of 2020. Now similar, not exactly similar, but sort of that sort of reading has come up over here. I think we need to wait and watch what happens in the next few days. Pharma pack, you can see that in the weekly time frame chart, we do have a hammer and we do have a big green candle over here. And in the daily time frame chart, we have a very good pullback. And according to me, some sort of consolidation, sideways move is necessary in the pharma pack for next few days. And I guess after that only we'll come to know what's the next move for pharma. All right. FMCG pack. FMCG pack is one of the strongest looking packs right now in all the sectoral indices. And the reason for that is obviously one stock, ITC. And the second one, I think, which is starting to go higher is Hindustan Unilever, which has started to go up in last few days. In the weekly chart, it is not looking that attractive as of now. I can completely resonate to that. And I'll be really surprised if this will go up vertically. I don't think so it will happen like that. I think there'll be some consolidation, up move, down move, and then slowly and steadily it will go up. I don't think that this move might be vertically one-way rally. If it does happen, I'll be really surprised. But why this rally has come up, the main reason for that is, I guess it's trying to pull back from its long-term supports. You can see there's a cluster over here. And if I just drop a Fibonacci over here, it's trying to bounce back. Even the price, in fact, has not been able to close below this particular Fibonacci. That's the reason why we are seeing. And if you see, the candles are wonderful. A big hammer, then a big bullish bell toll. Then again, this is not a hammer as of now, because today is 20th of May. I think end of the month we'll come to know what happens. But if there is a big green candle over here, okay, then it will also look very, very attractive. The volatility also has shrunk down. So I guess this could be probably a good stock for a positional trader to keep watch on. All right. Realty pack. Realty pack, I guess, it was extremely oversold. The down move which we saw over here was vertical, and it was very, very fast. And generally after such a fast move, we do need some sort of breather for the market. And if you check properly, we don't have a positive divergence. I thought we would have, but there is no positive divergence. In fact, we have a doji and then we have a big green candle. So for the pullback to continue, I guess we need to surpass above this particular short-term high. Only then we'll be able to see some sort of up move, and this up move might again stop somewhere between this band, because it is a resistance band. There is a gap down over there. In consumption pack, I think there's nothing much to say. There is a pullback over here. Trend is down in the weekly time frame chart, and consolidation is going on in the daily chart. So there is nothing much to say over here. In fact, even in the mid-cap time frame, mid-cap index, what we can see over here is that the trend is down over here, all right? And the previous candle which we saw is an inverted hammer, all right? So there is some sort of selling pressure which is visible at higher levels in the mid-cap index. And surprisingly, despite this wick which I'm talking about, there has been some sort of buying which has happened in last few days. So I think this particular sector will need much more consolidation before any trend emerges again, either on the downside or either on the upside. I think in comparison to all other indexes, mid-cap index को थोड़ा सा ज़्यादा consolidation की ज़रूरत है. All right. So that's the analysis from my side, and I hope this educational video will help you, all of you, to understand better how markets might pan out in the next few days, especially for the people who are watching it on YouTube. Trade wise, trade well. Thank you.